Hello everyone, I really appreciate all the support you've provided me so far with your likes and your comments. It means the world to me that you've been watching my videos, and I hope you continue to do so. My latest review is for Edgar Wright's film, Baby Driver. Baby Driver is directed by Edgar Wright, who is famous for Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, The World's End, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and nearly made Ant-Man starring Paul Rudd. Unfortunately, Marvel Studios and Edgar Wright had some disagreements, and eventually Edgar Wright left the film. Fortunately, he made Baby Driver instead. Ansel Elgort stars as Baby, B-A-B-Y, Baby, and you guessed it, he is a driver. Boy is he. He is the most exceptional person behind a wheel. Not even the Fast and the Furious films can quite stand up to what Edgar Wright does with Baby Driver. What's interesting though is he's not just your basic run-of-the-mill driver. He has a really interesting arc where he starts out as this aloof young man who simply pops in the earbuds and tunes out the rest of the world. But that world is shaken when he encounters a young woman named Deborah, played by Lily James. And it's in that moment when that romance strikes that he realizes there are these great things outside of the music in his head, outside of his own little world. There's love, there's romance, there is a potential for a relationship and a new life outside of criminality. But on the other hand, it also awakens him to that criminality. And I love that about this character, that a young woman enters his life and wakes him up. He metaphorically takes out the earphones and embraces the reality surrounding him. That's a difficult process to kind of get through as an actor, to show that level of growth throughout a film, and Elgort really nails it. Also, I gotta mention, the fact that Ansel Elgort wasn't cast as young Han Solo in the eventual young Han Solo film is a complete travesty. Though Elgort is definitely a standout in this film, he's not my favorite actor in it. My favorite character and favorite actor in the film is Bats, played by Jamie Foxx. Every moment that he's on screen, he just demands your attention. He's so engaging with his visceral quality. And he really makes a great bad guy. What I like about Bats as a foil for Ansel Elgort's Baby is that Jamie Foxx is such a likable and charismatic actor. If you're not likable and charismatic, it's hard to really engage an audience with a just despicable human being. But because he has that charisma, because he has that likability, he becomes a more effective character. The same is true for Jon Hamm. Jon Hamm is just one of my favorite actors. This is one of his best films to date. He also has that visceral quality that I was talking about earlier with Jamie Foxx's character. But Jon Hamm has a nicer quality. He wants to embrace Baby and kind of show him the ropes, so to speak. One of the best things about this movie is the use of music throughout. It's an interesting choice of music. You've got Egyptian reggae to heavy rock to rap to the Beach Boys to Queen. It just goes all over the place, but it totally works. And Edgar Wright really thought out exactly how he was going to use the music. This was not an afterthought at all. Music has to be part of the process of filmmaking. It could easily be compared to another great film that uses music, Pulp Fiction. The funny thing about this film is that it might be polarizing to Edgar Wright fans, especially those who love Hot Fuzz, The World's End, Shaun of the Dead, because Simon Pegg and Nick Frost provide such a manic energy to those films. And there is an energy to Baby Driver, but there's also a lot of drama. That isn't necessarily present in, say, Hot Fuzz. And that's where I think Edgar Wright succeeds the most, is he engages with a genre that he really hasn't approached. Honestly speaking, I can't wait to see what Edgar Wright does next. He is one of the most consistent filmmakers working today. Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, The World's End, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and now Baby Driver. You absolutely should see this film. You're gonna see an energetic, engaging, well-acted, well-directed, and totally phenomenal Edgar Wright movie with so many different genres, and that could have been a total mess, but he mixes it together into a perfect batch of film goodness.